Margherita Lotti, known as Rita, was born in a small Italian town near Cascia to elderly parents. After years of childlessness, her parents saw Rita's birth as an answer to their prayers. From a young age, Rita's deep faith led her parents to set up a home oratory where she could pray. As a child, Rita begged to enter a convent, but instead, at just 12 years old, her parents arranged for her to marry. Saint Rita is the patron saint of impossible causes, in part due to the difficult marriage she endured with great love. Her husband was said to be an angry and abusive man, but through Rita's prayers and virtuous example, he eventually turned to Christ before his death. Rita and her husband had 2 sons, whom she raised in the Catholic faith. Feuds between families were common at the time, and Rita's husband was part of the feuding Mancini family. Rita prayed daily for an end to this feud with the rival Cecchi family. By the 18th year of their marriage, her husband had begun to find more peace in God and tried to make peace with the Cecchi. However, a member of that family killed him instead. At the funeral, Rita publicly forgave her husband's murderer, but her brother-in-law tried to convince her sons to avenge their father's death. Rita prayed that God would spare her sons from the sin of murder, and they died of illness before they could carry out the plan. Now widowed and childless, Rita sought to enter a convent but was initially refused due to her prior marriage and the scandal of her husband's violent death. She prayed for reconciliation between her family and the Cecchi, which was eventually achieved. This paved the way for her to join the convent of St. Mary Magdalene in Cascia, where she lived under the Augustinian rule. Little is known of Rita's 40 years as a nun, but she is said to have lived a profound life of prayer, penance, and Eucharistic devotion. At age 60, while praying before a crucifix, she miraculously received the stigmata in the form of a wound on her head, similar to the crown of thorns. This wound caused her great pain and she remained secluded for the last decade of her life. After Rita's death from tuberculosis at 70, many miracles have been attributed to her intercession. Her incorrupt body is on display, and it is said to sometimes levitate and emit sweet smell. Saint Rita of Cascia experienced immense hardship throughout her life. Her initial desire to become a nun was thwarted when she was married at the young age of 12 to a man who was violent and cruel. Despite the difficulties, she endured her marriage with love and compassion. Tragically, she then suffered the brutal murder of her husband and the death of both her sons. As a religious sister, she willingly subjected herself to severe penances, and God in turn granted her the suffering of his crown of thorns. Through it all, Saint Rita steadfastly united her own sufferings to those of Christ, earning many graces for her soul and the souls of many others. As you reflect on your own struggles, consider how they might compare to the trials that Saint Rita faced. Strive to emulate this saint by joining your own sufferings to those of your Savior, for the salvation of your soul and the souls of those most in need. Prayer. Saint Rita, you endured immense suffering throughout your life, yet you embraced it with love and united it to the sufferings of your Savior. Please intercede for me, that I may be strengthened to imitate your profound love, willingly accept all hardships with love, and seek to bring about peace in my heart and in the hearts of those around me. Saint Rita of Cascia, pray for me. Jesus, I trust in you.